Well, welcome back. 2003 Hyundai Sonata. Just put the start on this on the way over here. After the owner got here and said it was about a minute or two from the house and lost his brakes. Didn't have any brakes at all. Took a quick look. Master cylinder was empty and no pedal. So I took a quick look around the car. It was not hard to figure out what was going on. I'm going to show you what I found, and then we're gonna fix it and rebleed this brake system and take care of that brake problem as well. We're at the rear driver's side wheel, and you can look back in here. Hopefully you can see how wet that is. There's brake fluid all over the place in here, all over the side of the gas tank. And what it is this line that hooks to the flexible line right on the other side of this rail. I'll see if I can show it to you from underneath. It's corroded right around this corner where my hand is, and it's just leaking out like crazy. So we're going to go in there. We're going to first thing we're going to do is break this loose and make sure we can get it apart. We're going to go on the inside and cut this line, reflare it, put a new piece of line in there, and fix this issue. We're looking straight up now, right past the gas tank right there, right in that corner of that line going across that rail. That's where it's leaking really badly. So we're going to have to pull that apart. I don't know if we're going to have to drop the tank down here or not. Possibly. I don't know yet. Hopefully I'm hoping to get in there without having to do that. We can get in there and cut it and reflare it and get the new line on there. We'll see. I don't know yet. So first things first, I want to make sure I can get this apart, and I did check it already. I'm just going to show you. You have a flare wrench. You can use a flare wrench for these. I actually, most times, will use, these are right grip wrenches. They will not round off a bolt head or a fitting like this. They will grab it. And I was able to break this loose. I wanted to make sure that I could get it loose first before I got any further. I'm going to undo this fitting, and then we're going to work on getting a couple bolts off. And here you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but as soon as I move that line, it's dripping from the corner where it's bad inside. I can actually see it. So I'm going to take a couple, there's a couple brackets holding this line in place. I'm going to do some measurements, and probably this line comes down below the tank. I should have enough line that I'm going to go below the tank so I don't have to mess with the tank. And we're going to cut it there and reflare it and fix this issue. That's the plan, at least, I hope. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so I've taken off the parking brake cable mount here, which mounts under the subframe here. And I've dropped that parking brake cable down, and by doing that, of course I've got several of these clips undone for this brake line, holding this brake line in place, and I'll show them to you. And I'm able to drop this down now, and I can find a good spot in here where it's clean and cut this without having to fight the gas tank or anything and be real close to it. I'll get my tubing cutter, we'll clean that up in the area that looks good, and we'll cut it off, and then we'll go up to the bench of the cart, and we'll bend a new piece and get it fitted and get a new piece in there and get this fixed. I'm going to pass where it's all corroded. Got a nice straight section here on both sides. It's clean. I've kind of cleaned that off, scuffed that up, and cleaned it, make sure it's okay. Looks okay, at least as far as I can tell. So we're going to cut it there. I've got a little tubing cutter. I'm going to cut this and prep it for the new piece of line. And just stick this in here and get it lined up. And I'm just going to rotate this around, and I'll keep doing this little by little. I'll cut this. Let me take my glove off. I can't get a grip on that. This is where these little tubing cutters help you a lot in tight spaces like this. You just keep turning a little bit, tighten it up, turn a little more, keep doing that. And I'll come back when I'm done this. There's nothing to see here except it's going to cut through that. So I've finished cutting this off with a tubing cutter. I've got to come back in here with a little file or a piece of sandpaper. You want to chamfer the outside edge, and I'll take a little drill bit and stick it in the middle here and just clean up any of the burrs. You want to get them off before you try to flare this. So I'll do that. I'll probably show you that, but right now I'm going to take the piece that I cut off. We're going to go over to the bench, and I'm going to bend a new piece for it. Line it up. Put a mark of how far I want it to be. So I've got my mark. Make sure my fitting's at the end. Get my mark where I think it should be. Right here. It's about where I expect it to be. And should be able to bend this. Let's see. At a 90-degree angle. Right about there. There's the first bend. Let's see how I did. See if I was close. Don't have to be perfect, but we want to be close. Yeah, that's not bad for an amateur. So then we'll just keep going like that. We'll keep doing bends here. That should be about the middle, right there. Hopefully I'll be able to get this in the bender because I don't really want to bend it by hand. I'll leak brake fluid all over. Try to keep it from leaking brake fluid all over my stuff here. Okay, next bend. Just a straight bend, straight away from it. So open it up. Get it where I think it should be. It's a 90-degree again. Get it in the right groove. Should be it. I'm not going to be able to bend this all the way with this tool. I'm going to bend it as much as I can, and then I'll have to do the rest of it by hand without trying to kink it. You've got to be careful you don't want to kink it. So there you go. Not bad. Not perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be close. There we go. Make sure I'm not cheating myself here. Now we have a bend to the side. Which is going to be about mark the end of this. Get my mark from where I need to cut it. I'm going to cut it off, and then we're going to go, before I put the other fitting on there, I'm going to go just put it on real quick and see if we're close to where we should be. I think we are. And then I can put the fitting on and flare it. I'll actually slide one of my fittings on there right now so I don't forget. This will be the union fitting on this side. Just slide that on there so we don't forget it. Be pretty bad if we forgot. I'm going to go cut this, put it in the vise. Don't crush it, just going to put it in the vise and cut it. Okay, got my line cut. Fittings on there. I'm going to show you what you have to do to these fittings, the end of these, and then show you how to double flare it. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the end that there's already on the car. I will show you that. You don't need to see the same thing twice, but I'll just show you what I need to do to this. What I usually do is take a drill bit and just by hand on the inside, a small drill bit, and kind of clean out any burrs that might be on the inside from the tool, from the pipe tubing cutter. I just chamfer that a little bit, clean off any inside burrs. Doesn't take a lot, and then I'm going to do the same thing out here. This leaves a burr on the outside when you cut it with a tubing cutter. So I'm going to take either a piece of sandpaper or a file. I think I can just do it with a piece of sandpaper. And I'm going to kind of bevel the outside edge of it at a 45. So it's nice and smooth. Go all the way around it. Now, I like to lubricate this a little bit. I just use a little silicone you know, grease, a little bit of grease, a little bit of, you know, motor oil, something. You don't need a lot. Here's the tool that I'm going to use. It's 24364. This is for on the car. It's a real small profile. This one will do 4.75 millimeter and 3/16. This is 3/16 line, so that's what we're using. I'll just show you how it works. Pretty simple. Two different dies. It says right on there it's just the 3/16. So what I want to do is take my tool out here. This block has two Allen head screws in it. I'm going to loosen it up so I can get the tubing in it. I'm going to slide the tubing in it with the side that's threaded towards the end. Just like this. Okay. Now, the shoulder. There's a shoulder on this, little shoulder, away from the pin. Pin's on this end. There's a shoulder. You want that sticking out of that block even with the shoulder, not past it. It just causes problems for you if it's past it. So I'm going to line it up. Get it lined up with that shoulder. Then you want to tighten it down, but you don't want to tighten one side all the way and then the other. You just want to kind of go back and forth, keep them pretty even. I just snugged it up so it won't move now. I'm going to check it again. That looks good. I'll just go back and forth on here, little by little. Try to keep it even as you tighten it, and tighten it up all the way. This tool obviously is made just for 3/16 or 4.75 millimeter lines. So you've got it in there good. So you take your die, this is 3/16 die. Should be able to stick that right in there. There it is. Like that. Then make sure you back this screw off, back it off, so you can get this on here. Make sure it's going to thread all the way on. You just make sure you get it lined up right, not crooked. It's a little bit of annoying sometimes. It gave me a little grief earlier. When you'll know when you get it, it'll just go like there. It goes screwed all the way down to the block. Okay. And tighten this up. Tighten this up. Hold it with either a wrench or a adjustable wrench. This is obviously an adjustable wrench. Let me get my ratchet here. So I'm just going to hold it with the wrench and tighten this down. Now you're going to feel it bottom out. Don't crush it. When it bottoms out, just stop. You'll feel it. Doesn't take a whole lot. There it is. You can feel it, and just back it off. And unscrew it. Now you're halfway there. Take your die out. The die will hang a little bit in it. It hangs up a little bit in there. Always does. Seems to. At least that's been my experience. It always seems to hang up a little bit. Pull it out. Put that back in the case so I don't lose it, because I need it again. Now, without the die in there, you put this back on. And it'll flare, do the double flare for you. Tighten it up. Same procedure. Hold it with the adjustable. Come on. Tighten it up. Same thing, you'll feel it bottom out. Don't crush it. Just when it bottoms out, stop. That's it. Back it off. Okay. Undo this Allen bolts, Allen head bolts again. Loosen them up. Now, got to kind of wiggle this to get it out of there, but, and there you go. There's your double flare. Nice double flare. And your fittings right there, ready to go on. We're going to do the same thing on the other end under the car. I'm not going to show that because it's basically the same procedure. Same exact thing. And then we'll take the union and we'll put everything together. So this is a union, double flare union. This is the right way to fix this. There's a union in the middle. And it'll screw on to either side. We'll put this fitting, don't forget to put this fitting on the line on the car before you flare it, otherwise you're going to do it again. Ask me how I know. Okay, it'll end up like that, nice tight seal. That's the correct way to do it. Compression fitting is not the way to fix these. Temporarily you could if you need it in a pinch, but compression fittings are not the right way. So we're going to go do this on the car, run through the same process. First things first, put your fitting on. Slide it down the line, get it out of the way. Don't forget to put your fitting on there or you will not be happy. So now I'm going to flare this. So using the same process that I showed before with the tool, I have a nice double flare on there, my fitting's in place. Now I can start putting this all back together. Get this started here. I'm not going to tighten it up in either place until I have it know that it fits okay. Get my fittings started, make sure they're tight up against the flare. Just not tight, just so I can still move this line. I don't want them tight yet. Snugged up. Now I'm going to pull this back up. Obviously I can't see it right now, so get it back in place here, and then I got to go do any tweaks that I need to do as far as fitting it. I believe that's, come on. This might be the hardest part. I want to get it started right. Make sure it's not cross-threaded. That's why I'm doing it by hand to get it started. It started. I forget what size it was. I think it's 11 millimeter. Alright, that's down, so I'm just going to back it off slightly so I still can move this line. I want to be able to wiggle that line and move it around. I'm going to go back underneath. I'll try to show you a few things here that I had to do in order to get this apart. Maybe I can show you that. Might be useful. There you can see the bracket where the parking cable that I undid. It's right on the bottom there. Over here is my line. Okay. And so there you can see my fitting. I'm going to have to tighten that fitting, reach up in there and tighten that. But you see there's one clip just to the left of that. That's the metal clip that goes around that other plastic up there. There is a clip here. I don't know if you can see this because I can't see. And then back here, I undid these first two brackets. Oh, you can't see anything. Let me see. So going towards the front of the car, that bracket and that bracket, I undid them. Unclipped them from the plastic holders. There's a couple. And then rerouted. It actually looks pretty good. I'm going to get this bracket in place here, and I got to fix that bracket right there. I got it backwards, of course. 50-50 shot means 100% you're going to get it backwards. And then I'm going to just put this back together, tighten those flare fittings, hold the fitting on the line, and actually hold the fitting in the middle and tighten the outside fittings. Just hold the center one still as you do that. Kind of hard for me to shoot that and show you at the same time, but that's it, and that'll fix it. Then I'm going to bleed this whole system, fill the reservoir back up, and end up bleeding this whole system, which is no big deal, and we should be good to go. Okay, just wanted to show you it's all done here. My original clips are back in. There's the new line, the fitting. I don't know if you can see this. I'm right on top of it, so I'm trying to show it to you. Back in the original holders, all the way back. Everything's tightened up. Everything's back in place now. I'm just going to tighten the fitting at the flexible brake hose, and then I'm going to bleed the system, and we should be good to go. Well, that's it for the 2003 Sonata. Fixed that brake line, bled the whole system, test drove it. Everything's good. No leaks, no problems. It's fixed. Really not specific to that car, by itself. Just about any car, you can have the same process to fix a brake line. Patch a piece in where you need to. When you're doing it, do a double flare union, don't do a compression fitting. It's not the right way to do it, and it's not safe. If you have this problem with your car, I hope this helps you out. If you like the video, subscribe below. Thanks for watching.